they belong to, raising concerns about administrative services and representation. The disputes comes amid ongoing debates over resource allocation and county jurisdiction in the border region, highlighting the need for clear boundary demarcation.
Yeah, also is about encroaching. I want the minister to take charge and take action about Changara division. Changara is in Bungoma West, Leticia division, but there is an officer in the office of the president who is corrupt. Just cassetted the division and took there the DO, and we have been cool. I've been cooling down my people, Honorable Speaker. I'm requesting Waziri to remove the DO from Changara and decassette the division. Otherwise, we will not be blamed. Thank you.
The Assistant County Commissioner for Changara Division is in office rightfully. Correct. And lawfully. Yeah. No amount of intimidation will deter him from rendering his esteemed services to the great people of Changara in Teso sub-county.
Ati hapa ni no man's land. No man's land namna gani? Na hii ni eneo la Angurai East Ward ambayo imekuwa created na IBC.
Mimi nataka kuomba Mheshimiwa Okuka Unya aleta development katika hii area na kuje hapa ndio bwana.
And elsewhere, Kaiti MP has criticized police for disrupting political meeting on Sunday in Kitengela. The MP said Kenyans have the right to participate in political gatherings and described the police action as illegal. He added that Kenya is guided by the constitution and democracy, and any interference in peaceful political meetings violates citizens' rights. According to the MP, the disruption created tension among attendees, and he called on the authorities to respect the law and allow Kenyans to exercise their democratic freedom without fear.
Wale ambao tuko na ile fungu letu la kulinda wananchi, jana tumesikia vibaya sana kuona vile serikali yetu inafanya. Tukiwa katika mkutano wa jana huko Kitengela, tuliona vile mtoto mmoja ama kijana mmoja alishutiwa na polisi na akauliwa. I want to condemn that act kwa sababu that is cowardness. Nataka kuuliza serikali yetu, hii mauaji mnaona mkiwa watu wetu, siku moja hiyo damu itawafuata, kwa sababu hakuna haja ya tulipigwa tiangazi bure. Tuko katika mkutano, hatuna maneno mingi, tunaongea na wananchi ambao hawana neno, wanatusikiza, alafu watu tunaona wanapigwa tiangazi. Hiyo wale ambao tuko na ile fungu letu la kulinda wananchi, jana tumesikia vibaya sana kuona vile serikali yetu inafanya. Tukiwa katika mkutano wa jana huko Kitengela, tuliona vile mtoto mmoja ama kijana mmoja alishutiwa na polisi na akauliwa. I want to condemn that act kwa sababu that is cowardness. Nataka kuuliza serikali yetu, hii mauaji mnaona mkiwa watu wetu, siku moja hiyo damu itawafuata, kwa sababu hakuna haja ya tulipigwa tiangazi bure. Tuko katika mkutano, hatuna maneno mingi, tunaongea na wananchi ambao hawana neno, wanatusikiza, alafu watu tunaona wanapigwa tiangazi. Hiyo ni wale ambao tuko na ile fungu letu la kulinda wananchi, jana tumesikia vibaya sana kuona vile serikali yetu inafanya. Tukiwa katika mkutano wa jana huko Kitengela, tuliona vile mtoto mmoja ama kijana mmoja alishutiwa na polisi na akauliwa. I want to condemn that act kwa sababu that is cowardness. Nataka kuuliza serikali yetu, hii mauaji mnaona mkiwa watu wetu, siku moja hiyo damu itawafuata, kwa sababu hakuna haja ya tulipigwa tiangazi bure. Tuko katika mkutano, hatuna maneno mingi, tunaongea na wananchi ambao hawana neno, wanatusikiza, alafu watu tunaona wanapigwa. Wale ambao tuko na ile fungu letu la kulinda wananchi, jana tumesikia vibaya sana kuona vile serikali yetu inafanya. Tukiwa katika mkutano wa jana huko Kitengela, tuliona vile mtoto mmoja ama kijana mmoja alishutiwa na polisi na akauliwa. I want to condemn that act kwa sababu that is cowardness. Nataka kuuliza serikali yetu, hii mauaji mnaona mkiwa watu wetu, siku moja hiyo damu itawafuata, kwa sababu hakuna haja ya tulipigwa tiangazi bure. Tuko katika mkutano, hatuna maneno mingi, tunaongea na wananchi ambao hawana neno, wale ambao tuko na ile fungu yetu la kulinda wananchi. Jana tumesikia vibaya sana kuona vile serikali yetu inafanya. Tukiwa katika mkutano wa jana huko Kitengela, tuliona vile mtoto mmoja ama kijana mmoja alishutiwa na polisi na akauliwa. I want to condemn that act kwa sababu that is cowardness. Nataka kuuliza serikali yetu, hii mauaji mnaona mkiwa watu wetu, siku moja hiyo damu itawafuata, kwa sababu hakuna haja ya tulipigwa tiangazi bure. Tuko katika mkutano, hatuna maneno mingi, tunaongea na wananchi, wale ambao tuko na ile fungu yetu la kulinda wananchi. Jana tumesikia vibaya sana kuona vile serikali yetu inafanya. Tukiwa katika mkutano wa jana huko Kitengela, tuliona vile mtoto mmoja ama kijana mmoja alishutiwa na polisi na akauliwa. I want to condemn that act kwa sababu that is cowardness. Nataka kuuliza serikali yetu, hii mauaji mnaona mkiwa watu wetu, siku moja hiyo damu itawafuata, kwa sababu hakuna haja ya tulipigwa tiangazi bure. Tuko katika mkutano, hatuna maneno mingi, tunaongea na wananchi ambao hawana neno, wanatusikiza, alafu watu tunaona wanapigwa tiangazi. Wale ambao tuko na ile fungu yetu la kulinda wananchi, jana tumesikia vibaya sana kuona vile serikali yetu inafanya. Tukiwa katika mkutano wa jana huko Kitengela, tuliona vile mtoto mmoja ama kijana mmoja alishutiwa na polisi na akauliwa. I want to condemn that act kwa sababu that is cowardness. Nataka kuuliza serikali yetu, hii mauaji mnaona mkiwa watu wetu, siku moja hiyo damu itawafuata, kwa sababu hakuna haja ya tulipigwa tiangazi bure. Tuko katika mkutano, hatuna maneno mingi, tunaongea na wananchi ambao hawana neno.
And the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has launched an investigation into claims of land grab in Kasagam, Kisumu County. Abraham Kemboi, EACC Director for the Nyanza region, said the disrupted plot adjacent to Kasagam police station is reportedly being allocated for the construction of police officers' housing. Authorities are investigating to determine the legitimacy of the transactions and ensure public resources are protected.
That is Kisumu East constituency, is the series of putting up security structures in this parcel of land. And that one cannot happen because of unscrupulous Kenyans who have decided that what belongs to Kenya should be converted to private hands for their own benefits. You can see major structures which have come up on land that was meant to be a police station. And as EACC, we shall invoke the law to ensure that those structures are removed. So all the land grabbers out there, if you own a title on a government land, please don't waste your time developing that land. Surrender the title to the government. Don't waste your resources because, you lose everything.
And the national election of the County Government Workers Union, which was scheduled yesterday in Nakuru, has been suspended following a court petition. A group of union members, including the candidate for the Secretary General position, approached the Machakos court seeking to halt the election. They alleged irregularities and fraudulent practices in the election process, claiming it undermines the integrity of the vote. The petitioners argued that if allowed to proceed, the elections could compromise the union's governance. The court is yet to make a ruling on the matter, leaving the election timeline uncertain.
Without democracy, we are a democratic country. We appreciate the various articles of the Constitution that gives us that chance to redeem the leadership of our union and give it back to the members. So with those few remarks, we have said that we have won through a certificate of agency that was given to us by the High Court in Machakos. We really want to thank. We have an efficient judiciary, whom after we went to plead our cause, they heard us and they stopped the elections.
The elections that had been called for the national elections, I believe it was not elections. It was like a scam. It's like a scam, and it was like to rubber stamp. They already decided the decision. What we will plead and what we will ask the government and even the courts is to create an enabling environment that is going to have a free and fair elections.
And severe drought continues to devastate communities in northern Kenya, leaving residents facing acute shortages of food and water while livestock perish. Former Wajir South MP Mahmood has provided food to over 30,000 affected families and called on the government to step in and support these vulnerable communities. School and health facilities are also feeling the impact as water scarcity affects hygiene and daily operations. Humanitarian agencies are being urged to scale up in interventions, including water, food, and distribution of other things to help the community.
South is the hardest hit part of the country, and therefore many people are actually reeling from this particular drought. The challenges that we have is the lack of water, the lack of food, and therefore pasture as well, and many of the animals are dying, and therefore we are hoping and praying that this particular juncture we will be able to get further support from the government. It is really one of the longest and the hardest droughts that we've had since 1981, and therefore 1981 to date, for over more than 40 years, the droughts that has been really beating us.
And religious leaders in Nandi, together with various stakeholders, have urged the national government to increase aid to make sure that food reaches those in vulnerable places and drought areas.
Juhudi za jamii pekee hazitoshi kukabiliana na janga hili.
Na ni vyema tuwe na watu ambao wataguswa katika mioyo yao pia wajali jamii. Ningependa nitoe wito wangu sio tu kwa Wakristo. Jambo hili la kusaidiana aliendi na dini. Ni vyema sana tukijali wenzetu hata kule North Eastern, tuone kwamba tunawafikia na kuwasaidia katika hali ngumu ambao wanapitia.
The reason why tunataka minimum essential package ni haya mashule yenye mahitaji maalum, si kwamba wako na wanafunzi wengi, so tukienda kwa capitation hawataweza kulipa wale wafanyikazi wao.
And the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has asked Kenyans to remain patient as the government works to address the plight of Kenyan men caught up in the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia. Mudavadi explained that democratic efforts are underway, noting that he is scheduled to travel to Moscow for high-level engagements with Russian authorities to discuss the situation and possible interventions.
Making a trip to Moscow, as I indicated, next month, and the issues there we shall be able to speak directly with our counterpart and the authorities in Russia. So if you bear with me, it's only a matter of time, but we are taking it seriously, and we intend to make this visit so that we can have a candid conversation on the challenges that we are facing. In the framework of the Joint Business Council, we shall jointly address areas where there are some obstruction to the free flow of goods and services. So that is underway.
Our relationship and to operationalize the declaration of a strategic and comprehensive partnership with a view to identifying specific sectors and the projects in line with the Kenyan priorities, including in the military, security, and the counter-terrorism.
And a petition has been filed seeking urgent orders to compel the Judicial Service Commission to upgrade facilities at the Milimani Law Court to make them accessible to persons with disabilities. Filed under a certificate of extreme urgency, the case by Sheria Mtani and Advocate Shadrach seeks orders directing the JSC to fast-track the installation of ramps, lifts and guiding rails and accessible washrooms. The petitioners argue that lack of these facilities violates Article 159 of the Constitution by denying persons with disabilities equal access to justice.
Up those stairs. Why don't we have lifts? Why wasn't it thought about? Why isn't it being considered again?
At least the accused people have a sense of humanity. We issued a demand letter to JSC from December 18th. The JSC has not responded. As we are sitting here today, the JSC is interviewing judges of the High Court. Where will those judges who are disabled going to sit?
But the council that has been mandated to overlook that public institution have these amenities, what they call the council under that act, have not even visited Milimani Law Courts following our demand letter to come and give what they call a judgment.
Now, residents of Kimende in Lari constituency have staged protests over the rise of illicit liquor in the area, which was reportedly claimed several youth lives. The demonstrators gathered at Kimende police station criticizing officers for failing to act against non-vendors of the illegal alcohol. They are calling for a full transfer of the current police officer and stronger enforcement measures. Community members have linked the illegal brew to rising insecurity in the area.
Kulevya zimeongezeka hapa na sasa hatuna usalama hatuna. As we speak today, kuna mtu amekufa hapa kwa bar. Jana tulizika mwingine. Juzi kuna mmoja akona kwa fridge. Saa hii anagojea. Azikwa next week. Na there's nothing the policemen are doing.
Tabitha Wangoi. Shida yetu hapa Kimende. Hata hapa kuna kijana alikufa. Ilikuwa juzi. Na leo kuna bado alikufa. Tutazaa na akina nani? Mimi kwa sasa sina mzee na ninataka mzee. Nataka wazee. Mwenye unapata pombe. Hakuna hana nguvu. Mimi bado ni mtu mdogo. Tunataka justice Kimende.
Jina wa Jiro Kibani, mkaaji wa hapa Kimende Kijabi, Lali sub county. Sisi kama wakaaji we are very bitter about ya ulevi, mambo ya dawa za kulevya, kuletea pombe ambayo ni mbaya. Kama sikiza, acha nikwambie, hapa tunapewa watoto wetu wanapewa dawa za kulevya kama sweet, kama peremende.
Hamishwe, wabadilishwe juu wamezoeana na watu.
Mkubwa mpaka mdogo.
Ukifanya makosa polisi anakuja anakuambia wewe nakuja kukushika kesho. Sasa tunataka askari wahamishwe, tuletewe wengine wapya wenye hatujuani na wao.
Sasa majina yangu ni John Moshedo. Majina yetu kama vijana ni. Niko hapa club liko hapa chini. Mtu amekunywa pombe na akakufa. Just another day here. Kuna mtu mwingine alikufa juu ya pombe. We have our government. We have a county government.
And the Kenya Industrial Training Institute has partnered with the Kenya Bureau of Standard KEBS to strengthen assessment and certification of construction practices, officials said during a signing ceremony in Nakuru County. KEBS director emphasized that the collaboration will raise construction and infrastructure standards nationwide and help curb the rising cases of building collapsing. The partnerships align with efforts to meet international standards in the construction sector and aims to ensure safer, more durable infrastructure across Kenya.
Means that the students who are certified have recognition for competence to welding, and this recognition is acceptable globally, such that they can be able to be engaged not just within the country but even outside the country. We definitely have a need out there for certified welders.
Sasa hivi ukiangalia housing, which is a critical industry right now, unaona many buildings are collapsing. Watu wengi wanakufa. Na sisi kama KEBS tunaangalia mambo ya safety na quality. Sasa kuangalia curriculum, tukikuja hapa tuangalia welding, lazima tuangalie quality in terms of the units zenye ziko complete. Tunaangalia vile vile wale walimu wenye wanafunza wamefuzu, are they competent enough? Na vile vile tuangalie time frame that they are going to get. So tunaangalia vitu zote wholesomely in matters of curriculum development. Sasa kuassure ya kwamba wale graduates watatoka hapa watapata ile accreditation.
And engineers have warned that a growing skills shortage could slow Kenya's aviation sector despite increasing passenger and cargo traffic. Speaking at an aviation conference hosted by the Institution of Engineers of Kenya in Nairobi, industry leaders said expansion of aviation infrastructure must be matched with stronger investment in engineering training. They noted that the country lacks enough skilled professionals in key areas such as aircraft, maintenance and aviation systems.
Role in play as engineers. Our airport is in very bad state. We should not leave this to the president alone or to the State Department. We need an airport to be competitive in the region. And if we just do our thing in a strict way, like we have done before, and the reason I've said in this speech, this time we are getting it right. And because we are the first beneficiaries, we are the direct beneficiaries of good infrastructure. I'm calling upon all of us to talk to Kenyans. Let them understand why we need good infrastructure, and especially.
And that's all we have today for EBN News at 1 p.m. Many thanks for watching. My name is Leticia Afandi, and have a lovely afternoon.